everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of, a podcast about movies, TV shows, video games, and lots of pop culture nerd things. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today, and with me per usual are two of your other hosts. We got Brian, also known as the Beard, and Old Reliable, or New Reliable, and also the Spider-Man villain, Mr. Negative on a redemption arc, and Devin, who might be taking the Beard label back from Brian, but we know him as the Brains for some reason, although he just told us a story that makes him not the Brains anymore. So, but he is also known as Mr. Nowhere. How are you guys doing?
It's like when you call the dude tiny, but he's really big. We're calling Devin the Brain.
Right. That's Devin today, guys.
Yeah, we'll put the story on our Patreon. Okay.
Right.
Guys, I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling exhausted. I'm feeling frustrated with systems of the world that just
No, that's fair.
like two-step verification. Okay, if you don't have a phone, if your phone's broken or your phone's off, how the fuck are you supposed to do two-step verification? And they don't give you another choice. There's no other way.
I believe I did have an issue like that when I actually lost my phone, where they asked me to in order to find your phone, you have to log in your phone. And it's like,
yes.
how the fuck do I do that?
You're gonna have to find a computer and log in somehow that way.
I think for some reason it wouldn't let me use my computer. It's like, you have to use your phone in order to find your phone. What?
Oh, Jesus.
What does that mean? I don't have it. It's lost.
Exactly. So that's been my day today. So
rough.
That's rough.
I hate
that's
that.
rough. Yeah, I think we're all kind of exhausted and frustrated with many different things in our lives right now, listeners. But we're here and we're working through it.
We're here to escape.
Here we are. With that, guys, shall we just get straight to it? Get to the news?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm ready to get mad at something else.
Here we go.
News talk.
First piece of news. Let's start out with something that hopefully you won't get mad at, Brian. Brian, apparently, Annapurna, they announced a Stray animated movie is in development. Stray, listeners, is that video game that everyone freaked out about because you got to play as a cat. That Brian is the only one to have played amongst us. I think Devin's played a little bit. I have played 0. It's on the list somewhere.
Play that
Brian, how do you
game.
feel about this?
Play the game, first of all. Play the game. It's fun.
I know.
It's probably on sale at this point, I would hope. If not.
I just don't want to. It's not. The sale's not enough for me. I don't want to pay $25 for a 6-hour cat game. I'm not there yet.
Understandable. That's okay. I'm feeling the way that I felt with Last of Us when it was announced as a TV show, except for I'm more worried about this because it's not made by people that care about The Last of Us. It's a game about a cat. Where I think the most... Well, like, that's cool. A movie about a cat, whatever. But I think the most interesting thing about this game was the fact that it was a video game, the interactivity of it, everything about that. So I feel like once you take that piece away from this, you're just left with a lesser version of something that was already made, that's already created. So that's why I'm like, I mean, that's cool. Get your money, King. But at the same time,
honestly, I think this will work. Kids love cats. They love. Although, maybe not. Puss in Boots, the newest movie, apparently was amazing and no one saw it. So maybe not. Maybe it won't work out for them. I don't know. But to me, just animated cat movie sounds like gold. But again, this is from someone who hasn't played that game yet. Like, is the story strong enough for like a 90-minute movie?
I mean, the biggest part about the story is the fact that the story is based around mostly the world building. You, of course, you're a cat. You don't speak. You don't do much. And a lot of the things that happen in the game aren't really directly towards you. It's characters interacting around you while you're being a fucking cat. And that's what kind of makes it interesting. And maybe you can have some charm in that in like movie form where you're kind of like in the perspective of a cat and see just things happening. But I just don't feel like it would have the same effect that I feel like the game had.
I agree. I think if they make the cat talk, I think it's just like every other kids movie, like,
Please don't fucking make the cat talk.
Like all those other ones. But if you do it that way, where you actually like have the story play out around the cat and the cat is actually literally a cat, I think you could have something pretty cool.
I feel like they should take this and give this to like Hayao Miyazaki or something like that, and he would make a he'd make a really good cat movie about a cat,
right?
But I don't know that any like American studios or any other studios like that could make.
My question is like, is it gonna look like the game, or are they gonna like pull a? I don't know. Mario's not the best comparison, but Mario is slightly different. But like, either are they gonna make it like a more realistic looking cat? You know,
that's interesting. I'm not sure what they would do with that because I love the art style of this game. That's one of my favorite parts about it. The art direction of this game is amazing.
So
if they did something similar to that, especially with the lighting and stuff, I think that'd be super cool. If they make it, even though they made it 2D, if they made it like a anime kind of 2D, but still had that kind of aesthetic, that'd be cool. But I don't want it to be like the cat, just a straight, almost realistic cat. I don't know.
A realistic cat. Lion King syndrome. No. Don't do that. We'll see. That's fucking hilarious. All right. Moving on. This is where we can start bitching and moaning because this was previously announced, but Hulu and Disney Plus, certain plans are getting price raises like many fucking streaming services have. But it's just kind of now become a news story because people are now getting their little notifications about it, and people are not happy.
So it's like
Mhm.
I love seeing the way like finances and like people in suits how they make decisions, because I assume that a lot of this probably has to do with the writer strikes probably affecting them negatively, or at least they're
Yeah.
trying to maybe prepare for the fact that's going to affect them negatively. People also, there's too many streaming services, so people are starting to have less of them because they just can't afford multiple of them. But their thought process is to, instead of decreasing the price and try to reclaim people, they want to increase the price and potentially lose more people so that they can make more money from less people. I don't know. I'm not an economics major. I don't fucking have any stake in this. That never seems like a good idea when you're fucking the customers that you are keeping. So
Right.
that just feels in poor taste. Because Peacock's done the same thing. Peacock raised their price. Paramount, I think, raised their price. And it's like Peacock lost hundreds of millions of dollars this year. The last thing you need to be doing is raising your fucking price. Nobody wants your shit at $5. Why do you think they're gonna want it at
Right.
7? Like, what are you thinking?
Right. And this is where like we were kind of having this conversation off podcast where we were like, we have like bundles, Hulu, Disney Plus bundles that are very cheap. How does this affect? Because apparently, like, not every plan will be raising. So starting October 12th, the Disney Plus's ad-free price will increase from $10.99 to $13.99. Hulu's ad-free will jump from $14.99 to $17.99.
Those are huge price increases, actually. Like, why not just $1? What the fuck?
Right. It's not it's a pretty hefty yearly price at least. And then the ad supported ones for Hulu, which are both at $7.99, they're gonna stay the same for now.
So what the fuck is Disney's ad free? I don't feel like I get ads on Disney, and I don't pay
I don't
pay a
know.
high price. So when did this happen?
I don't know. I don't know. I got that. Like I always get like a bundle on like Black Friday because it's always like get Hulu for $1 for the year
Yeah,
on Black
so
Friday
I
or
have
some shit.
Hulu plus Disney Plus, and I have Hulu. I have Hulu. My Hulu has ads, and I think that was the $70.99 or whatever. Then I pay $2 for Disney Plus, so it's $10 a month for me to use both. And I've never seen a single ad on Disney ever. Not that I watch it
Yeah,
too
no.
often, but
I don't
like,
know. Hopefully they don't figure that out.
yeah, because I'm like, am I gonna go from $10 to $23? What's gonna happen with me? Because I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I think it's notable also that they said in the email that I read, which I was mad at when I got it, but there's like a plan where you can go down, I think, to like $9.99 a month or something, where it's just Hulu ad version and Disney Plus.
Maybe that's what I
The
have.
only thing they're cutting out is ESPN Plus, which
Mm.
kind of
Right.
maybe tracks into the narrative right now going on of like Disney looking for like other investors with ESPN
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yep.
So the fact that they're
Mhm.
not, the fact that you could have a plan where currently you have ESPN Plus and then you could just have a cheaper one and cut it out is a
Yeah.
little interesting.
I think it's gonna get to a point where streaming services are becoming more work than customers want. You know,
Yes.
Oh,
So, like
100%.
people went to streaming because cable was so expensive and so confusing. There's so
Mhm.
many add-ons in it, and I think streaming might start to get to that point. It might already be at that
We're
point.
there.
You know?
We're already there.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I would rather pay. Like, I think the consumer demand is there now. Like, why not just have one subscription where you have access to everything and like we just reinvent cable
Yeah.
basically. And you know what? I'm there. I would rather have that than deal with all this bullshit every month. Like, because it's like
Right.
like it's every other month. Like Paramount next, it'll be Paramount next month. It'll be Peacock the month after that. Like,
Oh yeah.
this is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
One thing I have an issue with personally is like when we talk about like TV shows or things that we like to watch, the first question you have to ask is, what's it on? What can I watch it on? Oh, Apple TV? Oh, fuck. Oh, never mind.
Right.
Like things
Yep.
like that. That doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? Every time I go over to someone's house, what apps do you have? Oh, I got Max, Paramount Plus. You have Peacock? Nah, I don't got Peacock. Oh, fuck. You have Hulu?
You
Yeah, I
got
Hulu.
Fubo?
You got Fubo?
Fubo?
No, man, I got Gamecast. You don't got a GameCube or Dreamcast? No, I got Gamecast. That's what Tubi is. Tubi's
Man, I said I got Gamecast. I can't afford it.
I have Freevee.
Freebies, yeah. So I just think that that's kind of becoming an issue. That's I mean, there's some apps that I just kind of forgot about and don't even use, like Netflix. That like I should just cancel those because I'm not even using them anymore. Wasting
Yeah.
$20 a month
Right.
for nothing.
I
Yeah.
knew one friend who I think this is a smart way. And if you could schedule it based on releases, right? I think this would be a good way to do it. But you basically cancel all of them except for one. You have one at a time and you watch everything that there is to watch to catch up on. And then the next month you cancel that one and you go to another.
Yeah.
And you catch up on everything there and then you go on the next one. So like
That works, but like one, like just spoilers being a thing, and two, just like the world's constant need to being on top of everything.
Mhm.
Like, no one wants to be left out of like for example, you don't got Max. No one wants to miss House of the Dragon.
Right.
Then you
Mhm.
don't get to talk about, holy shit, did you see that? Nah, man, I got Apple TV this month. I'm
Yeah.
not doing Max.
This is my Apple
you
TV
know?
month.
That's
Sorry,
true.
bro.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
But it's getting to a point where I bet you people are gonna start going back to cable or just the direct TV or some shit because it's just like it's too much.
We're definitely seeing the smaller ones already fizzle out. I mean, we talked about how Peacock lost a ton of money this year. I doubt Paramount
Right.
Plus made a ton of money this year. The only reason they're able to exist is because they have so much money to begin with. Like those smaller ones that just are trying so hard to like bleed people to get them, they're gonna have to die.
Yeah.
CBS Plus or whatever, that can't exist anymore. There's no way.
Yeah, Paramount.
No, there's no way.
No, but they will though because they have. I'll tell you why. Is because the reason
Because they got the
have them-
Halo show. No.
Master Chief's ass, baby.
Devin's soul has left his body. No, no, because they have the broadcasting rights for like the Champions League and like the Italian, like and then
Yeah, you
Peacock
think about
has the rights to the
Everyone's got
Premier League.
something.
They're
Yeah.
always going to have people for that because that's why I don't even think about Peacock. That's just $5 that isn't mine every month. So
Right.
you know they'll always have for sports. I think, and sports is a huge thing for broadcasters. So
Yeah.
I mean, shit. I just learned today that YouTube has the NFL Sunday
yeah,
ticket
Sunday
now.
ticket,
What the
big
fuck?
That's
deal.
crazy.
Big deal.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. DirecTV used to own that shit.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
Doesn't Google own YouTube? So that they got infinite money
Mhm.
glitch.
I couldn't believe when I saw that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Amazon's trying to get it on Thursday Night Football. I think they have that now. So I mean,
Yep.
Another company
that last
with
year,
infinite
yeah.
money. Yeah.
yeah. So never
Yeah.
underestimate the power of sports. But I think that I would just love to see someone thread the needle and be like, hey, everybody, if you let my subscribers have access to your thing, we give you a cut of like
I mean,
$7
that's
a
how
month.
Netflix started though. Like that Netflix had no original shit. They would just get shit from everyone onto their service.
Right.
right.
And that only works to a certain point.
It
clearly
works
with Netflix,
until they started making money, and then they're like, "Hey, we want to make money too. Fuck you, we're taking our stuff
Right.
back and we're putting it on Hulu." And then
Exactly.
that's why we have
Exactly.
37 things now.
Yeah,
There's a point where
so-
The Office was on Netflix. You know. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Then Peacock was like, that's ours, bitch.
And there's no incentive currently. I don't see an incentive for them to agree to that, like to take less money from like a
No.
broadcaster that like say like a cable company, like say DirecTV is like, hey, I'm going to offer you Hulu, Paramount, Peacock,
Right.
Max, everything for $100 a month, and then I'll turn around and pay each one of those $15. Like I don't think there's any incentive right now for them to agree to that.
They got to really be
Right.
bleeding already. You're gonna have to buy the dying companies first, and then it has to come from
Mhm.
there.
We'll see who buys Netflix.
Or that you just upcharge it, and so maybe you pay more than you're paying actually each month, but you just have you don't have to worry about it anymore.
So you're paying for cable. That's just cable.
exactly.
Basically.
$100 a month is cable.
And
That's
like
what-
honestly, that would work for the people that are just like for convenience sake. Like so there was definitely a large population of people that won't do the math, or even if they do it, they'd be like, I'd rather pay an extra $10 for the convenience
and
of not having to
I
have
would
10
too. I would
See,
too.
there you go.
I'm
you
here.
found the target audience, baby.
I'm here right now. I'm an iPhone user. I am not a PC gamer. Okay, I need the consoles. I need simplicity in my life. All right.
That's fair. I mean,
see,
that's a valid point.
And that's how that works.
Yeah.
That's how that shit happens.
There you go.
Fair enough. Yeah.
The demand is there. The demand is there.
Right. All right, let's move on. We got to blaze through some of these news stories. So next up, some Mortal Kombat 1 news. This is both simultaneous news story, but they also released trailers for this. So fuck it. Let's hop into the trailer park real quick.
Mom's Pacetti.
That's all I got.
No, it's all right. Rapid fire. So Mortal Kombat 1 released 2 separate trailers this past week. One featuring a character named Nitara.
You know Natara. She's been in
I
other
don't know
games.
Nitara. I don't remember her, to be honest. She's a vampire, but most importantly, she's now going to be voiced and looks to be like facially like used the face of Megan Fox, which is
I'm
Why
pretty sure
was-
she
hilarious.
was in that
Why
most
was-
recent movie. She was the one that got ripped in half. That was Natara.
oh that makes sense.
Hold
Yeah.
up. Oscar,
Mortal
why
Kombat
was that
3, I
so
think.
awkward the way you did that?
I couldn't find the words. I was hoping
You
we
know
could
that
just
thing
blaze
where
past
they-
it.
Where
They
they make a character
model
look
the
like a man.
face.
Thank you. That's the word. The model. I couldn't think of the word.
Use the face of /
My brain blanked.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so Megan Fox is doing the voice and is the model for the face. Thank you, Devin. Because I doubt she did a ping pong ball suit. I highly doubt that shit. But
That would be
I
funny.
mean, this is like one funny, two obviously an in joke because she played a vampire in that really terrible movie or whatever it's called. I don't remember.
Jennifer's Body, is that the one?
Oh
the
yeah,
other one?
yeah. Megan Fox is not a very good voice actor. I should say, but
I
it's
mean, we
fine.
knew
Get your-
that.
yeah.
That went without saying.
Also, like, is this a trend now? Is this has this always been a trend, or is this a growing trend that we're seeing? That we're starting to see like this with like Van Damme joining as well, Megan Fox, and then Snoop.
I feel like Mortal Kombat has always kind of done some things like that. I know in the last one, like they had fucking Ronda Rousey was Sonya Blade. She was fucking terrible.
Yeah, she's a really bad voice actress too. Yeah.
She's a bad actor. Period. She's bad at every no. Shout out to you. You're great at what you do, but acting's not one of those things. Yeah, so they always kind of like did these random celebrity cameos. I mean, like the last Mortal Kombat, they had the dude from who played Shang Tsung in the OG movie as Shang Tsung in the last game.
Once we got to like PS3, like late PS3, I think they probably started doing it once technology got good enough to be like, oh, I can tell that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like that.
Exactly.
And this also, I think, for video games as a whole, that's becoming a more popular thing because you can actually make a character look like a character now. And if everything's so big budget, you can afford those people. Because I got, $300 million anyway. I can give a couple million to Sean Bean to get shot in Hitman.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you know what? It sells. It sells.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess Van Damme kind of fits in Megan Fox.
Well, all right, cutting to that story. Yeah, they also showed the trailer for the Jean-Claude Van Damme, which we knew he was going to be in it, and they had a skin and his voice as Johnny Cage, but now we actually got to see it. Very cool. Obviously, there's a deep cut because Johnny Cage, he was originally like inspired in the Johnny Cage character in the original Mortal Kombat. They wanted Van Damme to be that weird dude who did all the moves for him in the old game. Well, obviously Van Damme did not, and then he ended up being fucking, what was his name? Guile in the Street Fighter movie.
Yikes.
So yeah, very cool, very funny. I hope he does the splits at some point.
Oh yes,
in that game. He's got to. That's got to be his fatality.
Probably.
They didn't show it in this trailer, but that's got to be like a secret fatality.
Gotta do it easy.
Next, we got two trailers or the trailer and a teaser, both somewhat related. We'll start with Godzilla -1. This is a new Godzilla movie coming from, was it Toho? They're the ones that make all those Godzilla movies. It looks interesting in the sense that it looks like it's their own kind of reboot of the Godzilla character. And also, I did see some comments that people were very happy that he's actually killing people and destroying a city and being a villain again. People are apparently very tired of good guy Godzilla. So, which I'm like, damn, okay.
Yeah, this looks very cool. It looks a little unique. I like a good movie set in a different time period.
It gave me a lot of Cloverfield vibes in the sense of a lot of it's from the ground. You know, it's not like big aerial shots of Godzilla destroying a city. It's like people's perspectives of it, you know?
Right.
That's going to be brutal.
It felt like a mix of that and a little bit of Train to Busan. Not because it's Asian people. Train to Busan was made by Korean people.
Right.
But also just kind of like like you said, like the boots on the ground kind of feel to it, and like the fear of just like everyone running in big crowds and stuff like that as something that's coming after them is really cool looking. So yeah, I'm actually interested.
It kind of gave me the vibe of the 2014 Godzilla movie, the reboot with Bryan Cranston, and in the trailer sense, the movie wasn't exactly like that, but the trailer, it got the same vibe from the trailer of that movie. So it's kind of interesting, you know.
I didn't like that movie.
Yeah,
I didn't mind it, but it was kind of a disappointment. But speaking of that, other teaser for Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, a Apple TV Plus series, which I don't remember. I vaguely remember this being announced, but kind of went in one ear out the other. So this teaser was a surprise. But honestly, Apple got money, bro, because this shit looks good.
Yeah.
I was very surprised.
That's what I always say about Apple stuff. Like everything is so well done. Everything, the production value is so high, and then nobody knows about it.
Let's say when you only got 3 TV shows, you can spend a little bit extra money.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell are in this. They're the main leads, I would imagine. And funny that Wyatt Russell, his son, who most of us would know from, he was a fake Captain America in the Falcon Winter Soldier show.
He's a funny looking boy.
He is, yeah. What the cool thing is that he is playing a young Kurt Russell character, young Kurt Russell character. So there's going to be 2 different time periods, which is kind of cool. My biggest thing from seeing this is that it looks like there's one shot towards the end where you actually see Godzilla.
Yeah.
It looks like a familiar scene from the 2014 movie, just from this different character's perspective. So if they're going to do that, that reminded me of, I remember back in the day when the first Cloverfield movie came out and there were rumors of that second one. And everyone was like, oh, it's going to be the same event, but a different person's holding a camera. It's going to be completely different type of thing. I was like, that would be cool. Never fucking happened, but it's giving me those kind of vibes. But it looks good. I'm kind of genuinely excited for this.
Yeah, I will see if I actually watch it. We'll see if I actually decide to finally get Apple TV.
I know I might have to fucking do it.
Comes out November 17th, so you got some time.
Yeah. And then last but not very much not least, very quick announcement trailer for a little game called Gargoyles Remastered.
Last,
this tiny
but least.
Yeah, honestly, this game probably real bad. It looks bad. It didn't look very fun. But Keith David was the narrator at the top of the trailer. Obviously, he plays Goliath, and that theme song slaps, so I don't care, and it looks amazing. And depending on the price, I might get it.
Apparently, this is a new thing that they're doing, because this game looks like I don't know if you ever played those Cartoon Network games back in the day on CartoonNetwork.com, where they don't really use sprites. They use like just straight cartoon-looking graphics, but they still look like shit. Because it looks like that to me. And it's funny because Sonic actually talked about this recently, Sonic Team, because Sonic Mania was like the most recent like side scroller that came out that was like beloved. It was like a fan-made game, got picked up by Sega, but it still used sprites. It still used the 16-bit, 32-bit kind of sprites to it instead. And they said, we're not gonna make a Sonic Mania 2. We're not gonna revisit that. We want to go to the new school graphics because the children, everything's for the children. New age kids thinks it looks ugly.
Right.
Of course we don't, because we grew up with it. So because of that, I guess a lot of games are going to that same route where instead of using sprites anymore, they're going to start using whatever the fuck this shit is. It looks like a Flash animation. And I think it honestly ruins the integrity of the game. This game looks so much worse with that, like, to me at least.
Yeah, it was interesting because honestly, when the trailer first started, I was like, oh, they're literally just putting out this. It's like a port because it's in 4:3, and then the transformation happens. I was like, oh, that's what they're doing.
That's what they meant by remaster. They meant they're gonna make it ugly. Oh,
okay. So yeah, I mean, I had honestly never played this game before, and I probably still won't play this, but who knows?
It cost you $30 to play this game, so fuck it.
If this brings Gargoyles back into the zeitgeist, that means I'm one step closer to a reboot of that show, and that's all I want.
More power to you. I'm good. I think I played the game, but I don't remember it all. I'm not gonna play this one. I'll just play the original one.
Yeah, I always do love that. Like Spyro did the same thing of switching from the remastered graphics to the old graphics in like an instant. I always didn't Halo also do that?
Yeah, Halo 2.
I always liked that. I thought it was a nice touch.
Yeah.
But all right, that is the news. That is the Trailer Park listeners. That was a lot, but we got through it, guys. Shall we now move into our main topic of the week?
Let's do it.
All right. First, once again, we are trapped in another fortress. There's a fortress that's only halfway done because we needed something to talk about this week. But not gonna lie, the last episode of this got me fucking hyped because we are in the fortress of
Ahsoka. Snips.
Which is great because the first 3 episodes did not have me hype about nothing.
You know what, Devin? They should have called this show Snips just to confuse the whole world. That would have been funny as shit.
She snips. Yeah, that would be funny.
Yes, listeners, we're talking about the first 4 episodes, the mid-season of Ahsoka. We're going to do a little catch-up like we did with Mando this past year. Yeah, episodes 1 through 4. Part 1, Master and Apprentice. Part 2, Toil and Trouble. Part 3, Time to Fly. And Part 4, Fallen Jedi. We're spoiling it. No non-spoiler shit here. Let's start with the 2-episode premiere. I watched them back-to-back. Did you guys watch the first 2 back-to-back?
I tried to, but I fell asleep after the first one, so then I had to go back and watch it the next day. Not because it was necessarily bad or anything, but I was just tired.
That's fair enough. And I guess that is one criticism that I've seen and also kind of felt after the second episode was it's a slow burn. It's the first 2 are a slow burn.
Very slow. So too
slow. I don't feel like anything should be a slow burn at 8 episodes. That's a waste.
You're not wrong, but again, we're only halfway, and I feel like shit just started cooking. So I'm maybe these next 4 are gonna be fucking insane. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah. But I want to start real quick at the top. I kind of loved how it started that with their own version of like the traditional Star Wars crawl, and the whole story. I was like, oh, this is fun. I'm into this. Like that I was ready to go. That after that was very dope, and leads into let's just talk about the villains of this first episode. Obviously. R.I.P. to Ray Stevenson. He passed away earlier this year, as we talked about. This is probably going to be one of, if not his last performance. I think he might have been filming some other stuff, but I don't know if that stuff's going to come out. Obviously, he did complete all this, so this will be complete last performance. He's killing it, personally, I think. Depending on how these next 4 go down, he could be one of the most compelling Star Wars villains of all time.
Because he's an interesting thing to say about a lot of stuff. He's very prophetic in his thought processes. Which I find really interesting. So I'm kind of hoping they explore that a little bit more, where it's like he doesn't seem like he's like the most evil person on earth.
Very pragmatic.
Yeah,
he's got reasons and like things that there happen throughout these first 4 episodes. He says stuff like he doesn't seem to want to kill Ahsoka. He even says, he's like, it's a shame there's so few Jedi left. Like, there's so much going on with that character, and yet he's so calm about it all.
Yeah.
You know, like
kind of anti-Sith like, really.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I guess that's the whole point why he has an orange lightsaber. It's not Sith red. There's something else going on there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like maybe I'm guessing he definitely was connected to the Jedi Temple because he's name dropped a few, times. So I'm wondering if he's going to be some character. I don't know. I'm sure there's theories out there, but
Fuck all them theories. Everyone is wrong about this one dude, Homeboy. Homeboy was a fucking ghost, fucking green gas ghost. He was a big fart. Whatever. Who cares? I'm so happy about that. Side note, I'm so happy that fucking Merrick was just a fucking Night Sister witch craft bullshit. I was so happy about that because me and Brian talked about this off pod where I was like, I hope he's a nobody.
It's just so weird to make him masked out of everybody else, but everybody else is so obviously see their face. It's like, this is supposed to be the play, which it would have been a bad reveal. But it's like having no reveal almost feels worse. You know what I mean? Like,
oh no, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was so happy about it.
Like I felt like the big thing was like, why does he keep showing up and no one knows what he is? Like I thought eventually he's gonna take his mask off and it's gonna be because the big thing was I thought it was gonna be just straight Ezra. Like we thought they were gonna play into that, which would have been stupid based on what we know from like Rebels and stuff like that. It would have been really goofy for him to go to the dark side, but it could have been something. People also said it was gonna be Starkiller, who he says that he has something to do with this show.
Absolutely no shot. I did not believe that for a second.
As soon as you saw the way he holds his lightsaber, you knew it was going to be Starkiller. Because they would have definitely made him hold his lightsaber a certain way. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Cool as shit, but no. There's hell no.
Every reveal would have been goofy. Every single one.
Yeah. Which is why like the whole time, because like I never, until I saw the theories, I never thought twice about this dude. I was like, we've seen so many nameless Inquisitors at this point that I was just like, yeah, he's just another, and I love the fact that, he goes down like every other Inquisitor, like a punk ass bitch the whole time. I loved it.
Inquisitor and fucking Mandalorians have the worst fucking deaths in the Star Wars universe. They're just so bad at their job. Jesus Christ.
I loved it. It was the best. But yeah, cool. Let's continue talking about the villains with Ray Stevenson and everything. Dude's big.
He's a big guy.
Dude's a big guy. Holy shit.
They kind of had him moving a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
His daughter.
She gives me big. What's her face from?
She looks like a punk rock singer.
Yeah, but she gives me the same vibes. The woman that plays Harry Potter, the villain in Harry Potter, like I killed Sirius Black.
Fucking Lestrange.
Yeah, and also the girl in Fight Club. Yeah, it gives that really crazy energy of just like playing around all the time. Yeah.
But she's kind of muted though. Like I don't know, it's just her eyes for me.
She looks like homegirl from D. Antwoord.
Honestly, she's probably got the best choreo in the fights throughout these first 4 episodes. Like every time she's in a fight, I'm like, either her and / her stunt double are crushing it.
Yeah.
They are really like every time they're in a fight, I'm like, I feel the rage and the choreo good with them. Because there are some pieces, and we talked about this off pod before, like the first 2 episodes, some of the lightsaber fights were not very good, guys.
Make terrible choreo in Disney Star Wars. I just don't know why they can't seem to get that.
It's inexcusable.
I don't know why either.
But yeah, and like you said, like maybe it just could have been that like Rosario Dawson, her headpiece might be a little heavy. They do have her fighting in robes a whole lot. Maybe it's a little clunky for her. Like I don't know. Like some of that shit is just like that doesn't look good.
Quick note on my girlfriend called the girl. She looks like sci-fi Joan of Arc, which feels pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. Even down to her costume, a bit, yeah. I will say, because I rewatched the episodes 3 and 4 today, honestly, because I was very like lukewarm after episode 3, and even after episode 4, like obviously the ending, which we'll talk about in later in a bit. I was like, even those lightsaber fights were like fine. I thought the Ahsoka taking out Marek and the very samurai style one blow, striking the pose, holding the pose. That shit was dope.
Sick.
That was amazing. That was incredible.
The best part by far, like not even close.
Or I mean, the one where she's fighting him at the dock, and then he gets his lightsaber to come back to him, and she just sidesteps it without even looking.
Casual.
That was the coldest moment. Is that the coldest moment in all of Star Wars? Maybe.
In all of Star Wars? It's possible.
It's one of them. It's up there.
It's up there with fucking...
With the ultimate parry, the super parry over and over and over again. We know each other's moves.
It's up there with that, with not hitting each other for a good 4 seconds. Yeah,
but see, that's absolutely not cold. Like it was cold because she didn't even look. She didn't dodge.
Because she's a force user. Yeah, she has.
And she just like sidesteps. Like, man,
it was
you
pretty
ain't
cool.
You ain't getting me.
Like she was half a second away from pulling a Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi little shoulder shake off. You know.
Oh, I'm so glad she didn't.
No, I'm sure Star Wars: The Old Republic had a cooler version of that, so it doesn't matter.
But I thought after a second viewing, I thought the lightsaber fights were in that last episode were better than what I originally thought. Again, a lot of this is hype for me personally, and I think for all of us. I think the prequels really fucked us in terms of we expect every fight to be as good as some of them prequel fights, and I understand why they're not, especially in the sequel trilogy, because it's a different era, Jedi, blah blah blah. But no offense, Ahsoka grew up with them motherfuckers.
That's what
she'd be doing. And she did some flips, but I don't know. I don't know if I need more flips, but I don't know.
For me, I think the reason, and maybe that it's going to get crazier in the next 4 episodes, but I think right now, for me, I think I've been okay with it because it's kind of that samurai, like when Ahsoka was first introduced in Mandalorian, and that whole episode was like a samurai film, like, you know, homage to those, right? And like stylistically and slow and everything like that.
Right.
I think they kind of been embracing that energy for this, which is what I was hoping they would do. I think they could have leaned more into it.
But I feel like they really didn't lean into it until this episode, this most recent episode.
Right, yeah, for sure. But I think that, you know, the slower pace kind of fits for that kind of a vibe more than like if they were, you know, like if her and him were just like running around that whole place just going crazy, it wouldn't really fit. Yet.
Like Yoda and Darth, what's his face?
The Count Dooku or Darth, or even Darth Sidious.
Yeah,
bouncing around, that shit look dumb and stuff.
Yeah. So it's getting better, especially than the first episode with Sabine versus Homegirl, who fucking. Yo, can we quickly talk about how Star Wars just keeps doing our boy Qui-Gon so dirty, bro? Everyone survives, because I wish Alex was here, because his argument when we talked about fucking this last type, how Qui-Gon didn't survive and how Darth Maul survived because Darth Maul was using hate and rage to keep him alive, which is why Qui-Gon didn't survive. Sabine just straight up survived, guys.
She got stabbed pretty centrally. That was not like to the side.
Her stomach lining is fucked. She can't eat solid foods anymore.
I'm just saying, we keep digging at Qui-Gon. We keep fucking digging his body up and spitting on his corpse, saying you died.
No,
like the bitch.
He pulled a Ben Kenobi where he wanted to be dead. He wanted to be a Force Ghost.
I don't know. You go back to that scene. Look at his face. Liam Neeson's
That's
face. He's in shock.
That's a face of someone that does not want to be dead.
Very much did not want to die.
So that shit was like whatever. I mean, it's shocking for people who, I guess, like, I don't know, people didn't watch Rebels, but as soon as that happened, I was like, ain't no fucking way she's fucking dead. What are we doing?
Right. It was very, I don't know. It just wasn't necessary. I don't feel like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like if anything, maybe she could have like knocked her lightsaber out of her hand and just like ran away or something like that, or been like, "Ha ha, I'll get you next time." You know what? Anything else? She could have done anything else.
You mean like in the most recent episode where she pulled a Batman and threw a smoke bomb and dipped the fuck out?
She said, "Pocket sand."
I was like, "Where's this forest? God. Like, how could you not find her? What the hell did we do?"
That would have been great if she just see her still running.
Yeah, honestly. Oh man!
Yeah,
but I will say about that Sabine and Shin fight, which took me up until the most recent episode to figure out what the hell her name was.
I didn't know.
Her and Shin fight, which I loved, because let's talk about this. I really, and I don't know if the show's going to do it. I kind of hope it doesn't. I don't want Sabine to be force sensitive.
Right.
I want her to just stay she's a Mandalorian, and I would love for her to just be dope. She can still be dope with a lightsaber, but I don't want her to be force sensitive, just because it's like, I don't know, because all of Rebels, like, I think what made her special was that she wasn't force sensitive, and like she had the dark saber. For listeners who don't know, spoilers for Rebels as well. Oh, I didn't say earlier, we're spoiling Ahsoka. straight out the gate. We're spoiling these first 4 episodes. Maybe I'll cut that earlier. I forgot about that. We're spoiling it. No non-spoiler shit here. So yeah, and like but I will say that moment when she puts her hand up on the ground and it doesn't work, and then she flips it and shoots her little wrist rockets. I was like, that was dope. That was a fucking highlight for me.
I'm trying to think what I can compare that to. There's something else that kind of does a similar thing where it's like the cool thing about the person that they don't have powers.
Right.
I can't think of it for the life of me.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a good example, but I know what you're talking about, and it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it though. But yeah, it's just like a thing where like not everyone is the chosen one and special in that way, but she can still kick ass either way.
Yeah.
Sabine with as a Mandalorian with a lightsaber, she could be hell better than fucking actual Mando with that darksaber. He sucked.
Man couldn't even lift that shit.
He sucked.
Very true.
Yeah, so I hope they continue not to do that.
Yeah.
But
you also have to
who
remember that this
knows?
is not only is it Star Wars, so it's always going to be very cut and dry.
Yeah, I know. But it was a thing where I was surprised when she did the wrist rockets. She didn't have the
Yeah.
Force in, so I was like, okay, maybe they won't. But I'm still.
How we're going to make Finn Force sensitive and not make her Force sensitive? Wild.
That's a good point. Redemption for Finn. They need to do something with him.
That man's never worked for Disney ever again.
That's also, yeah, probably true.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, talking about continuing with the villains of Shin. I'm really enjoying the two of them.
Their little side battles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the first two females fighting each other? Two women characters?
In live action?
Say, yeah, you can phrase that a little bit better than fucking females.
Yeah, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Please don't. Yeah, I'm not an incel, I promise. Is this the first?
I know what you meant. Like two female actors is probably what you were going to say, but those are two females.
First two females. All right, Andrew Tate. Jesus Christ.
That's what I've ever talked to.
My God, man.
All right, let me rephrase that. Is this the first time there's been two women fighting one-on-one in Star Wars? I thought it was.
In live action, yes.
In live action, yeah, that's fine.
In live action, yeah, because obviously, like, Ahsoka's fought with, like,
a
other
lot of
people
people.
and
Ventress.
Ventress. Yeah, so. But in live action, you might be correct.
Did Rey fight any women? Rey doesn't count for anything.
I don't think. Were there any other women besides Princess Leia in the movies?
You make a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's pretty dope. There should be more of it because honestly, yeah, like my favorite fight was the Sabine versus Shin fight in the Forest in the most recent episode.
I was about to say the second one. The first one kind of sucked, but the second one was really
the first one sucked. That was bad. And then let's just stick with this fourth episode and maybe we'll hit some highlights. Actually, no, there are some highlights I want to hit from post the premiere of the first one too. I wasn't crazy about this, but after watching the third episode again today, I kind of enjoyed Ahsoka in space, slicing the wing off of a fucking spaceship.
That was so crazy.
Her blue Power Ranger suit. Yeah, that was some Knights of the Old Republic shit right there. That was so random.
No, the meme of her wearing Vegeta's clothes, like they did. They didn't need to do like the side hip triangle thing, but man, she looks like a Super Saiyan in that.
My question is, how did she get her fucking head tails in that shit so fast? Because it even wrapped around those perfectly. Yeah. I was like, how the fuck you do
like
that?
10
it's
seconds.
Not like putting a hoodie over your head.
She was in that thing in 10 seconds.
It was so fast.
She pulled a fucking Lady Gaga outfit change for sure.
Also, how would you, if you had those head tails, would you be like stuffing them in with your hands? Or would you like
that's what I'm saying.
That'd be tough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like to get it to fit.
I mean, she got practice, I guess.
It's not like gloves, like you can't like extend them out. I don't think. Like I don't think that you can like they have appendages that move. You know what I mean?
She'd have to be like. It's like it's like for me working my hair into a hat.
Dude, that would be so hard. That's much more impressive.
My shit would be all fucked up. Yeah.
Right.
The one on her back would be even harder. God, really hard.
Yeah, but I will say, as much as I was like, this is goofy as hell the first time, the second time around, I was like, this is kind of fun. I had fun with it the second time I watched it. Her doing the flip and cutting that wing off that ship, and
that was so
this
funny.
shit looks better in animation, but they did it. They gave it a college try for live action, and I appreciate that.
And that's kind of my feeling about this whole show, especially after knowing Rebels and Clone Wars exist and seeing the fights and seeing all the stuff in that. It's like all of that just feels so much better animated than it does here.
Honestly, you're
everything
probably
just
right.
lands so flat. It gives me Lion King remastered vibes real
bad.
No, yeah, I'm getting that real bad.
That's disrespectful.
I mean, it also just kind of like the characterizations don't seem to come one-to-one to me as well from like Clone Wars and Rebels, and it's kind of bothering me a little bit, where it's like knowing Ahsoka Tano, I was like, yeah, she grew up, she became an adult, whatever, like everyone's green when they're a child, but like she just became just fucking Mark Hamill round 2, like she just became like, oh, I know all and I'm super calm now, I teach you, child. And it's like, that's so fucking boring. Like, make her still, like, the fact that she's not connected to the Jedi should make her more interesting because she can have a little bit more emotion. I thought that would be interesting to, like, explore, but they don't do it. They chose the Star Wars way.
Did she specifically say at one point that she's not a Jedi?
Yes.
And then later...
First episode.
And then later when she's going back and forth with Hu Yang, she's like, well, Jedi protocol. I'm like, you're not a Jedi. You said you're not a Jedi. Like, yeah, I agree.
I'm thinking and hoping, especially with the most recent reveal of the last episode, that is going to directly get addressed. And I think the next 4 episodes, we will get a slightly different Ahsoka mentally.
Getting yeeted off a cliff will do that to you.
Right. It didn't bother me until like I didn't really. It didn't really bother me as I watched it. Her stoicism and her characterization until I started like reading up on it and like, oh yeah, I guess not. But also, there's a lot of weird things that are there are gaps that are missing. Like, and so I it kind of went with it because like the biggest gap for me that was an issue was the whole. They keep talking about how Sabine's her apprentice and they trained and it didn't work out. I was like, when did this
Right.
shit happen? We ain't seen none of this. When are we gonna talk about this? And so that's probably why it's just my biggest distraction has been that. I'm like waiting for answers for that. And maybe we'll get those. Maybe we won't. Who knows? But I totally understand the criticism of the too much stoicism.
And they just did that with all the characters and like all of his Star Wars shows. It was kind of starting to just not feel good anymore. Where it's like even the bad guys are stoic. Fucking Rey's over there stoic as shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Although, man, I will say when he said inevitable, I was like, yo, this dude should have been Thanos.
He wouldn't have been bad.
He would have been a pretty dope Thanos. Too bad he was in Thor already, but he would have been a dope Thanos.
yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe I just want something that's not Star Wars. But it's just like I like the fact of like being like so crazed in your anger. Like, how are you stoic? If you tell people as like a Sith, they're like any person that's on the dark side to like feed into your anger and your hate and stuff, you would think you would meet people that would feel emotion, but we never really seem to. Darth Vader was the closest thing, and he couldn't emote because he was a fucking robot anyway. So no, but I just want to see something like Shin would have been a probably interesting thing to explore with that instead of making her quiet and don't say any words. To make her just straight crazy, make her crazy and angry and scary. So you're like, oh shit. The Sith are deranged. Like those motherfuckers over there, not real. Yeah, so I don't know. I want less stoicism in Star Wars.
This reminds me of my main note. I have 2 notes, but this is my first one. And maybe it's not just that they're calm, but like the dialogue, dude. Like, listen.
It's pretty slow.
David Filoni has done amazing things for Star Wars. I wish.
I'm mad you just called him David, though.
David L. Filoni.
You called him by his birth name.
David Bartholomew
Filoni.
Filoni.
Name, yes. Dave Filoni has done incredible things for Star Wars. I think he's done a great job. I wish he wouldn't do so. I wish he wouldn't try so hard with the sequel trilogy. I wish he would just kind of like leave that over there and just do what he wants to do with this interim period. But whatever, he's trying. However, man needs to not write dialogue. He needs to not write these shows. He needs to be like a Kevin Feige.
He learned from George Lucas. What did you
that's
expect?
What I'm saying.
It's so George Lucas.
There is no excuse in the year of our Lord 2023 that dialogue needs to be this clunky and feel so unnatural. And I get it because it is Star Wars. And if you really want to be so accurate to Star Wars that you can make bad dialogue, but I think we could do better. So I think he should be like the big picture guy, but I don't think he should be writing every single episode.
I agree with you 100%. Because they do the exact same thing that The Walking Dead was really famous for, where the characters don't speak to each other, they speak at the audience. And that makes them really weird because everyone's trying to make a point to the audience. Yeah. And I just feel like that feels really gross because, like you said, it's not natural.
It's not. The dialogue feels so unnatural. And like they have like all these dramatic pauses. Every conversation is like
there's
20
a lot.
minutes
There's
longer
a lot
than
of
it
silence.
needs to be. Because there's like so much silence. Nobody talks
well,
this
Devin,
way.
if they had cut those gaps, each episode would be like 12 minutes long.
Nobody talks this way. If I ask you, hey, Brian, what did you do yesterday?
I did. One of your favorite
Nobody
things.
talks this way.
No, someone made a joke that you need Subway servers in the corner of this show. Whoever pay attention. It's a great show to watch TikTok while watching.
Wow, Brian, that's great. That's the pace of replying in this show. Okay?
Well, wait, Devin. I have to ask you one thing.
I'm going to throw up.
Sorry. I had nothing. I got nothing to ask you. I had nothing.
Okay, but like when they leave, right? And they're about to go episode 4. And Hu Yang's like, wow, this is the best with you guys just being together. And then they like awkwardly look at each other. It's cringy as fuck. What tension was there with you guys being together? Man, it was just so
They
bad.
stole that
like,
directly from some Clone Wars Rebel shit. Like, that would work great in cartoon form, but worked terribly.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Kills me.
Exactly. Yeah.
To be like, yeah, in cartoons, you were like, ha, look at that.
Right. And I guess it does go to show that it is hard to transition those two things. Like, everyone's like, you can make an animated show into a live action or vice versa. It's like, it's tough.
Can I get like, we need like Judd Apatow, okay? Or like, somebody like that. Just get them in to write the dialogue only. You can do all the plot stuff. Well, I guess. But you like,
see, look, it's already not working out.
But the dialogue, like Filoni gets the plot, I guess, and then the dialogue, somebody like a voice coach, okay, some kind of like counselor or somebody gets gets the dialogue because good lord, it's
Right.
bad. Anyway.
Again, yeah, because I don't necessarily think any of the actors are bad. There are some moments where some lines where I'm like, oh, y'all didn't. That one didn't work out. That was not good. That was not a good choice. That didn't work.
That wasn't your best
Why?
work.
Is it like trying to say true to like what Star Wars is? Yeah,
honestly, I think it's a George thing. Yeah.
I think so too.
But like he was a good idea guy. But like that was the only good thing about the sequel trilogy was that the dialogue was good.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you.
You can't have a good Star Wars story and good dialogue. Oh wait, you can. It's called Andor. There's no excuses
I was about to
anymore.
say, yeah. We need Tony Gilroy in this bitch.
No excuses. No excuses.
Last couple quick things. I cannot mention fucking Hera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead in this show.
Very cool.
Very cool to see her. Her son Jason, who I was looking from day one, I was like, where the fuck is this kid at? He finally shows up and she does what? She takes him on a dangerous mission and they almost die. But anyways,
where you still a human child from? Whose child is that?
Half human, half whatever the hell Hera is.
Gross.
Twi'lek?
It's
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, is he gonna get the tails on his head?
No, I think his hair is just gonna be green.
They didn't think too hard about this one.
A classic.
Right. But I will say, I would guarantee that Ezra is gonna train that boy to be a Jedi. 1,000%.
100%.
And it's gonna be a perfect little mirror of his father. Kanan trained Ezra, and Ezra's gonna train his son. It's gonna happen. That kid already at the end of the episode is like, Mom, I got a bad feeling. That's the Force, boy. That's the Force within you. You can feel it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, Devin.
How are we just not erasing the sequel trilogies yet? I just don't understand. There's
It's
too
not gonna
there's
happen.
too much good stuff that's being put out there.
I mean,
not
you're talking
gonna
all this shit, Devin. Like, midichlorians didn't exist at one point.
Right? Exactly.
I'll take midichlorians over that sequel trilogy. I'll take them all. I'll take a 20-minute lecture from Qui-Gon Jinn. 20 minutes.
Oh no.
Not 1 minute,
no.
20. Give me a whole PowerPoint presentation. I'll take it. If it means the sequel trilogy is erased.
Last big things for me before we hop to the last thing we just saw. Shout out to Chopper. Cool to see Chopper. Great. I honestly really love both the music and the look of the credits of the show. I really enjoy them. I think they're really cool. I love the font. I love the music. It's really dope. Just wanted to shout out them credits.
Well, one quick thing. Chopper was cursing, right? That boy be saying,
absolutely.
He's saying bad words, right? Because you can kind of like hear his voice like a little bit too well sometimes. And I'm like,
there was one line where I was like, that was just straight up English. What was that? That was lazy as hell. Yeah, voiced by Dave Filoni.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. I was like, sometimes I don't think they put enough vocal stuff on that to clear that.
Not at all.
Like, what the fuck? Huh?
I love Sabine suiting up and cutting her hair off Mulan style, and that is not because she's Asian, but literally that is just the scene out of Mulan, 1,000%. As soon as I was watching it with Jackie, because I was in New York at the time, and as soon as she got down and had the knife in her hand, I was like, this girl better cut this hair off in one fell swoop, and she did it. You heard a shink, and that was it. She put the knife down. I was like, that's it. That's a scene straight out of the fucking Mulan movie, man.
Can I quickly interject my second point? New Republic deserves to die, man. They are
they fucking suck.
Fucking stupid.
They fucking suck.
It's a shame because like in the books, they like were pretty smart, right? And they did some stuff. But like, holy shit, this is so disappointing to see just how inept they are in every turn. I hate it. It's a plot device. I get it. They have to move the plot how they need to move it. But like in Mandalorian, they're putting former Imperials to live together. And then spoiler, shocker, they're plotting against you. Of course they are. They're your enemy. If you're trying to reintegrate somebody, you don't just put them all together and be like, hey, roam freely with your former squad. This is fine. Okay. And then they had him check in with like a robot. All right. That was just, and of course that's bad. All right. Bureaucracy, awful. Okay. Now here, we're in a situation. What the fuck else are you doing with this fleet? There's about 30 ships in that fleet just constantly going by. Okay. Constantly. That's the biggest rebel fleet I've ever seen in my life. Why can we not send like 3 of them just to go investigate? You think there's maybe this Grand Admiral is going to be alive again? What the fuck is the New Republic doing right now? There's nobody to fight. You yourself have said there's no empire to fight. So why can we not send half, a third? Can we send 10% of this fleet that just it's the most gross use of resources I've ever seen. And this dumbass senator is like, oh, well, you just want to use it to fund your friend. Okay, fucking let her. Where are they hanging out? They're hanging out by like Jupiter.
They're on the payroll anyway.
This whole fleet is just sitting there uselessly while the biggest threat you have to sit there just waiting to be carpet bombed by this entire fleet. They have 3 ghetto-ass looking Naboo fighters to defend this entire giant space ring thing. You have this entire fleet that is sitting there doing fuck all in the galaxy, and you can't move it? This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know. It sounds a lot like American politics to me.
It's so infuriating when the plot does that shit. Anyway.
Devin, you were absolutely not wrong.
They had small ships. They had big ships, right? Like they're trying to get me hype, okay? When Hera's like, I'm gonna disobey orders. Meh. You get 5 X-Wings to go with you. My girl, 5. And then like the music is going and it's like, oh yeah, let's get hype. Fucking 5 X-Wings?
And then 3 of them die.
2 and 3 like immediately die.
Yes. And then they immediately die. But like there's 20 super class Mon Calamari cruise battleships just sitting there. Can you send 1? Can we get 1? No?
Devin, you are not wrong.
It's unbelievable.
The New Republic is a bunch of clowns.
They are.
It's honestly, a bunch of Muppets. We know it. But it's all because of the sequel trilogy. They have to have a reason for the New Order to rise up. And it's because the New Republic sucks at their jobs.
I hate it. I hate that that's why they have to suck. I hate it so much.
They gotta have a reason for Thrawn to come back and the New Order to rise, and because they suck at their jobs. Although
hate it.
I did love where Hera straight up told that dude, "Was like, did you fight in the war, or were you just sitting like a punk ass waiting to see who got out on top?" I was like, "There you go, Hera.
Definitely,
there you go, Hera.
Yeah, for sure. But like, can we send like one? Yeah. Can we send like 1 Y-wing too? Maybe like
we don't want a Y-wing. What are we gonna? We're not on a bombing run.
Can we get like, I don't know, an A-wing? Can we get an E-wing? Can we get 1 E-wing with like 1 squad to land on it and take it over?
I love how nerdy we could actually get about this.
I just fucking hate it.
So can we get a Y-wing? We don't want a fucking Y-wing.
Every shot of that fleet, there was a new ship going by. Every single shot of that fleet, there must have been 3,000 ships in that fleet. It's like, well, we can't really spare the resources. Okay.
I mean, honestly, Devin, they all would have been fucked either way. They're lucky they didn't get Last Jedi'd and all explode when they fucking ship went hyper. They're lucky that thing was a big circle with a hole in the middle, or else they all would have fucking died immediately. They're so lucky. That shit happened. I was like, how are they going to survive this? We saw this in The Last Jedi. They all fucking explode. They're just lucky it was a gaping hole in the middle of it. It's crazy.
Very true.
I love Star Wars.
I love Star Wars too. All right, last thing. Let's talk about the big reveal at the end. We all kind of were hoping that, and rumors were going about, this has got to happen. Ahsoka goes back to the world between worlds. The time travel element of Star Wars is here.
We go.
Who knows how it's gonna go. This is Devin's moment right here.
Retcon.
This is Devin's moment.
Time.
Oh, is that what you think will happen?
That's what Devin wants. It's not going to happen, though. He wants it.
I feel like she's going to talk to some Force Ghosts and come back, and that's going to be it.
Right. But again, that's the biggest question. Obviously, we see Hayden Christensen. He's back. Anakin Skywalker. Is he a Force Ghost? Who the fuck is he? Is he even Anakin Skywalker? Because them Darth Vader music at the end was not a good sign.
Right. I was thinking it was kind of more like a Black Panther 2 kind of situation where it's like, girl, this is all you got. You ain't got no good people on your side. You got this motherfucker right here.
You fucked up. Your best friend is Darth Vader.
So that's what I was thinking. He might still give her some advice, but it's not going to be like the best advice you hear.
Ahsoka just dies, and it's just her and Anakin stuck in like purgatory.
Yeah, we actually both went to hell. Sorry.
Right. This is hell. This is actually Star Wars hell, not heaven. Yeah, dude. I will say people have been freaking about the de-aging of Hayden. It's weird. It's a little weird. I don't know why they did it. Honestly, because I've been seeing a lot of theories that, maybe it's because he is the young Anakin. Honestly, I think it's just because people bitched and moaned about his non-de-aging in Obi-Wan that they're like, I guess we need to de-age him. I think that's literally the only reason
Which is
why.
So funny because man looks great for his age.
He looks fine. They should have just left it alone.
Leave Hayden alone, man. Let him just show up and do some work.
Man just got a little bit of crow's feet, as you would when you're 45. Like, what the fuck?
Also, he's a fucking ghost. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it seems like a waste of money to me, but I mean, it was the same thing with the Mark Hamill, the Luke Skywalker thing, where it's like they had a man that looks exactly like Mark Hamill, and then they still decide to put weird shit on his face anyway, and then AI his voice, and it's like, you didn't need to do that. Like, you really just didn't have to do that.
I think they're just like, we have the tech, we're gonna use it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't know what's gonna happen next. I'm very
excited, and apparently, clearly, it's a big episode because they're showing this in theaters tomorrow. Select theaters, they're showing episode 5. This is the big one, apparently. So, who knows?
watch it on my TV. I hate that it comes out at 9:00. I was like looking for it because I was like had some free time one Tuesday. I was like, man, I can watch this right now. It said 9 p.m. I was like, fuck.
Yep.
Damn
9 p.m.
That's when Starfield comes out. I'm fucked.
Oh. I just love the fact that real life Hayden Christensen is younger than Rosario Dawson.
That's really funny.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Isn't that funny? I think she's 44, he's 42, so it's not that big a difference, but I think it's very funny still.
That is very funny.
But this is why I have hope that we might get some changes of Ahsoka's character in the sense that she like lit up when she said Anakin and saw him. And I think like she's constantly been having conversations of trying to avoid talking about Anakin when Balin brings him up. She's like, I didn't come here to talk about this shit. And I think if this might be her moment to confront the guilt that she feels of a quote unquote abandoning him that she's been feeling. And if he just lets her go and maybe that's what we get the change of Ahsoka as a character. Who knows?
Ooh, that's cool.
I'm excited. I'm happy for Hayden. I'm excited to see more. I don't want them to ruin this world between worlds time travel element of Star Wars. This could go very bad very quickly.
They're gonna ruin it. Just prepare for that.
Or very right, Oscar. Or very right.
Or very right. Very right.
It could go so right. It could go.
You guys could do something so funny right here. You do something so funny if you just erased all the sequels.
It's just Ahsoka and Anakin like assassinating Rey, killing Palpatine, killing Finn, just killing everybody.
Please. Oh, I would love to see it.
It's just gonna show the Flash running backwards.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Not that.
Oh, that's funny. That's pretty much it. Last thing I gotta say, Sabine fucked up and giving him that map, but whatever.
Man, I want to uppercut her so bad. I feel like she has an idea, and the whole thing is like, I'm gonna save Ezra by doing this dumb shit.
I mean, yeah.
I don't care. That was still really fucking dumb. That was such a dumb plan. But she's basically just being what Ahsoka was in Clone Wars, just being green and stupid. So I can only be so mad at her.
Yeah,
we'll see, because this could be like one of the very first pebbles into bringing the new order, so it might be all on Sabine's fault.
Oops.
My bad.
Also, is like, did Ahsoka die? Did she like just hit every rock on the way down there, or just kind of open the portal? Like
that's what I'm waiting for. Because last time we saw this, spoilers for Rebels, we already said that there's spoilers for all this. Ahsoka got yanked by Ezra into this world, like physically. So did Anakin pull her? Did a portal open up and she just fell into it? Like, that's what I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Nah, she just cracked that fucking noggin.
Right? She's all
she's just bleeding out right now.
I mean, she was going to hell.
The whole
first.
next episode is just gonna be all of that shit, and then episode 6 is gonna be her waking up in a hospital with a concussion.
Could be.
I don't know, but I'm excited. 4 to go. 4 down, 4 to go. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that all for you guys got for mid-season Ahsoka's talk?
Heck yeah, 4 more episodes, baby. Let's do it. I'm probably gonna not like this show, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I'm excited. Who knows, man? We don't know what the hell gonna happen.
Oh,
it's Star Wars.
Shout out to Mr. Krabs. That was cool. Cool cameo.
Oh, fucking, was it Clancy Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool
Shout out to him. Shout out to the live action version of the Rebels mural. Very cool to see.
Cool.
All that shit. Exciting stuff. Give me more Hera. She's dope as hell. All right. That is the main topic, listeners. Guys, should we now hop into our final segment of the week?
Let's do it.
Which we like to call Free for All, title pending. This is a little sub. Jesus Christ, let me try that again. This is a section, listeners, so we can kind of do whatever we want. We can talk about our day, talk about our life, fight, rant, talk about how our phone is an asshole. It's free for all.
Was it my phone?
Devin, you want to go first?
Or was it me? Twas me, dear listeners. I got 2 shows I've been catching up on, but the one I want to talk to you all about is called, now listen, hear me out, okay? It's called 1883, and it's in the Yellowstone like thing.
Yeah.
So I was a little skeptical of this whole universe because I had only heard from like my white, like friends that like, oh, you got to check out Yellowstone. Like, it's so good. You got to check out Yellowstone. It's really fucking good. Like 1883. And like 1883 is basically a story about the Oregon Trail.
It's the Oregon Trail game.
It's the Oregon Trail game. I had like never really thought about that in school. They hadn't really taught about how fucking awful the Oregon Trail actually was. It is a tragic story, and it should be. There's no other way that this should be told. That it's a awful, awful, awful story. I like think about things that are simple today in today's world. Every single thing is just like so much more difficult. I like river, right? I was like, why is the river so like? Why is this a big deal?
Like river.
And I was still sitting there. Like people like drowned. Like apparently Apparently 65,000 people died on the Oregon Trail coming over in like a 20-year span or something. 65,000 people died.
Yeah.
And like they'd be dying like rattlesnake bites and like, raiders, but also
people die in that, because I've also watched that show as well, Devin.
Nice.
People die in the dumbest ways, but it's like, holy shit, that shit sucks.
But like, all right, and listen, this is gonna sound insensitive, maybe bad, but like as a strong swimmer, I don't understand. Listen, at one point they lay out a rope across the river, okay, to get people across, and all you got to do is hold on to the rope, and then put your next hand in front of the other, and then before you let go with your backhand, just make sure your front hand is still on the rope, and you'll be fine. You will make it, okay? But apparently, a few people drown.
Shit's
they
tough.
just let go, and they just float away, and they can't make it.
You think this will never happen, things like this will happen, but you have to think about how the smallest error can make the biggest impact. I watched a video recently on Twitter where a girl was hiking and looked over a waterfall and then wanted to like look over a little bit closer, and then of course her ass slipped because it's a fucking waterfall, and she fell down the goddamn waterfall and broke like all of her bones. She survived, thank God. But it was the dumbest fucking thing you could possibly do, because who in their right mind would think that they should do that? But she did it, and she slipped, and she probably would have died if it was the 18th century or the 17th century.
Right.
19th century, I guess. Yeah.
Well,
so
I didn't know this, but apparently it was actually illegal. So some of the characters are German immigrants, and it was actually illegal in Germany to swim because so many people had drowned, because swimming was like only witches swim. So they literally outlawed swimming in rivers, like in the late 1800s. And it's hard to think, like, this is 1883. This is like, there's like modern stuff happening. Like if you go to New York City, that's like Gilded Age, like, there's stuff going down. And then you come out here, and it's just hard to imagine things happening at the same time. But
I think swimming was definitely a thing of, aren't the people that wanted to go out west in the first place were people that were already impoverished? So they're trying to strike gold. So if you're impoverished, where do you learn how to swim?
Thing. All the things that happened in this Oregon Trail, they must have like sold, like, you told them it's going to be the easiest thing in the world, because like if you told me I could be poor in Germany or do all this stuff, I think I would just choose being poor in Germany. Because like,
at least you'd be alive.
You would be alive, and like oh my god, they have to deal with like tornadoes, dude. Like there's one point where this German guy, like, they fight some bandits. And his wife just starts screaming at him, like, what the fuck is this place? Like, why did you bring me here? Like,
why are we
here? This is the most insane shit I've ever seen.
She's just like me.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are we doing here,
this
man?
This is miserable.
We were wearing some lederhosen. We were having a good time. But now, you wanted to go to fucking Oregon. And also, why? I guess Oregon, I don't know. There must have been free land there or something, because, like, why the hell do you want to go all the way to Oregon?
It was that fucking gold rush, baby. We're trying to make $1.
I guess.
They thought they could just build a home.
You thought you were gonna build a home in a field and then get some gold and then make it big, brother.
Yeah.
Most didn't, as you can see. And then my ox died, and then my meat went bad, and I can never shoot a fucking deer.
I died of dysentery. I
hate that fucking video game. I played it recently. I'm so bad at it.
Hey, last quick note though. I did not know this. My girlfriend knew this. The main two of the main characters are played by country singers, which is Faith Hill, who is actually married to, and I'm going to say, okay, hold on, Tim McGraw. That's it. I keep wanting to say Garth Brooks, but it's Tim McGraw and Faith Hill are two of the main characters. They are phenomenal in the show.
I was genuinely surprised by the two of them. Yeah,
they were so good.
Genuinely surprised.
That's fucking go. I didn't know they had any acting prowess. What the fuck?
No,
me either.
Yeah, they were very good. So anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I've talked about Yellowstone on this show, but I've definitely recommended it to Brian in the sense that the first couple seasons of that show, it's all a soap opera. I kind of hate it now because I just want everyone in that show to die a terrible death, because they're all horrible people, every single one of them. They're all bad, and it's not as fun to watch anymore. And so I'm happy it's ending. But the first couple seasons are just like a solid Grey's Anatomy country soap opera, Game of Thrones soap opera.
I'm sure that's how you sold it to me.
See, I heard it was Game of Thrones.
That's it is. It absolutely is. Okay. It's like Game of Thrones and Grey's Anatomy had a baby. They had a baby in Minnesota.
They have a baby in the bumfuck Alabama.
Nice. Well, anyway, so we're gonna watch it in chronological order. The next one is with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren in 1923, and then it's Yellowstone.
That one I didn't like as much. I'll let you know now.
Dang.
As 1883.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Another white person told me to watch the show. Awesome.
That's what held me back for a long time. I was like,
I think that's what I said to Oscar. I was like, white people keep telling me to watch this show, so I don't want to watch it.
It's fair enough. Like, because I was held back for a while, and then I think my parents told me about it. And then I just had one in the background. I was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? These white people are crazy. What the hell they do?
Yeah, next I need a person of color to tell me to watch Succession, then I'll finally do that too.
Fair enough. I can quickly go next. I had a bunch of shit, so I'll try to rattle off some from last week that I saved. I watched a show on Max called My Adventures with Superman.
Oh.
It is a cartoon. It is so fun. It is kind of anime inspired in both terms of the animation and also some of the characters and things that happen. There's like a fun, like little like Sailor Moon Superman suit up scene in it. But it's done by Studio Mir, who listeners might know. They did The Legend of Korra and the most recent, or the only, the Witcher animated movie, Nightmare of the Wolf. So their style is like, there's some simplicity to it, but there's a lot of cool different things, like interesting things that they do as well. It's fun. It's Superman, Lois, and Jimmy Olsen. It's the three of them are the main characters, and it's just a really fun vibe of them getting into adventures and the different ways that they introduce different like kind of deep cut villains of Superman and just like DC as a whole, and their different interpretations of it. And hopefully, it says they're getting a season 2, but hopefully that actually is true.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. It was really good. I think it's only 10 episodes, so it's not too long of a watch.
So I kept seeing clips about it. So it looked interesting. Lois is still toxic as fuck, which always pisses me off. Why that girl so toxic? That was that issue.
She's actually not bad in the show.
Yeah.
She's actually pretty good.
The clips I saw were pissing me off. Also, they did an interesting thing where, there's a black character, of course, and they actually model the white part of his hand. And I thought that was really interesting because whenever they draw black characters in cartoons, they usually just make the whole hand black. But you notice when his hand's like to the side or something,
you'll
actually see the lighter skin part of it. And I was like, that is a really interesting detail for such a simple show that didn't need to be done. Cool. But it's like, I'd never seen that before. So that's interesting. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I never picked up on that.
Maybe they
that's
had
good.
somebody on their team. It was like, hey, we should do
hey, I'm black.
Yeah, we're gonna not do the Miles Morales haircut, and we're going to give his hands the right way.
Second thing, real quick, I watched all of season 2 of I Am Groot because it took me like 15 minutes to do it. So it's 5 brand new shorts. They're each like 3 minutes long or some shit. It's cute. It's fun. I will say the last and the final one of the season 2 was a highlight. I would recommend that to everyone. It's pretty fun. I will say there's a special guest in the whole entirety of that episode that I did not see coming, and it was just very fun. The other ones they're fine. I'm not gonna rave about them. They're whatever. But that last one I will recommend. It was very fun.
I only watched that one.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, if I were to, I would just watch that 4-minute short, just that last one. And then last thing I watched, because it finally came out, the Attack on Titan final season, the final chapter 1 that we had watched and talked about earlier this year. They finally released the dubbed version of it this past weekend. It took them like 9 months or some shit.
I wonder what they were.
Which I don't understand why that took so long, but whatever.
Yeah, really, that's really weird. Huh.
Yeah, I literally just watched it last night. It was a nice refresher, especially because we didn't talk about this because it's still a rumor, and we'll probably talk about it when it's actually announced that the November 4th is going to be the release date of the next piece, and I'm not going to say final until it's actually done.
Part 2, Section 2, Part 4,
Yeah.
Section 3.
Oh my God, they're going to break it up again.
There's not much left. They literally can't. Unless they literally give us 3 minutes at a time each month.
Yep. Yep. Guys, we got like 5 minutes of the fight. You want to see it? No.
They're animating it in real time. Like, fuck, give me a second. Let me erasing it. Fuck. Let me try again.
I don't want to see it yet. Wait until it's done and then show me. God damn.
Right. So yeah, and it was just fun to get back into that.
Nice.
So very excited. It got me hyped for it to come out.
I haven't watched the dub in so long, probably since it's gonna be like early season 2. So I forgot what that voice actor even sound like.
Yeah, it was weird considering I'm on my subtitled rewatch. So going back to the dub for this one episode, I was like, oh fuck, this is jarring as hell.
That's really funny. Nice.
That's me. Shout out to God of War Ragnarok.
Boo. Well, we all know what I've been doing because a certain game that has been in the making as a Microsoft exclusive for all the fucking time on Earth, that everyone was like, this is gonna make or break
Here we
Microsoft.
go.
My boy Todd Howard better fucking bring it. We are talking about
drum roll.
Starfield.
Uh-oh. Is that related to Brian's feelings of the game?
Actually, I temper my expectations because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Yes.
A big issue with this game is one, Todd Howard is the worst person to talk about video games because he will promise you everything and give you nothing every single time. So anyone that knows him as a person knows, just don't listen to him. He needs to shut the fuck up because he's just gonna say, "So you're telling me there's cows in this video game? There's 18 of them, more cows. We got all the cows on Earth. We also got 3,000 planets. All of them are inhabitable. You can go there right now, in real time, in real life. We can go there. I got a space shuttle outside. Like, why, Todd? What are you doing? Why are you saying that? Whatever. I knew not to expect that. I played Fallout 4. I played most Bethesda games, and Fallout 4 is, of course, like the most recent one outside of Fallout 76 to come out and be like a single player experience. So, managing that expectation, I knew what I was going to like immediately in this game, and I knew what I wasn't going to like immediately in this game. What I came for the Bethesda part of the game is the fact that, you get to create your character, create your own little story. You always running into random side quests, stuff like that. That's the heart of Bethesda games that I enjoy so much, that you can go into a random cave and you find a bunch of cannibals and then they want to beat you up and then also want to eat your girlfriend. Like that's the charm that I find in that. Like I just found that randomly. I came across that. And now I'm going back to the main mission. Mm-hmm. What I knew I was going to be interested in is, one, I don't like the spacer battles. I don't think it's...
Oh, really?
It's just maybe a me thing. I don't think they're very fun. I don't think they're very interesting. They're mostly just annoying for the most part when I go through them. Yeah, it's just kind of like work. I don't know. It doesn't really interest me. Don't even try to do it in first person. It's impossible in first person. You'll just get sick because you have to do so many fucking barrel rolls and shit anyway. So do third person with that. I also knew I wasn't going to want to build an outpost. I knew I wasn't going to want to fucking mine for resources on procedural generated like maps and worlds and stuff. None of that was what interested me, because I knew that was just going to be kind of boring and kind of a time sink for no reason. I like the curated content. I know the stuff that's going to be like, oh, I know this planet has a big city on it, and I'm going to be able to do all these cool things in that big city. I know this place exists, and I do that. That's what's been really interesting to me. So I'm having fun so far. I've already started modding some of the stuff that I don't like as much. To kind of take that stuff away. And that's kind of like sacrilegious. You're not supposed to mod until you play through the game once, but some stuff is just too fucking annoying and I can't
fuck
do
that. Did you fix the inventory system?
Yep, the first thing I fixed was the inventory system, because that was pretty archaic. And then I also fixed it gets really bully spongy really quickly, and of course it doesn't have like the vet system that Fallout had, which kind of made the combat system
bearable.
Yeah, nonsensical. It just wasn't even a thing anymore. You just shoot person 3 times in the head and they die. So it's crunchy. It's Bethesda shooting, but it is shooting. But I made it so that that doesn't get so spongy, so it feels like I'm actually playing a shooter, more like closer to Doom than I am like Division 2.
Right.
So that's been cool. Funny, the game is still Bethesda. It's got the jank. Doesn't run amazing on all computers, and people have been having some issues with that. I'm not having a huge issue with it. I can get it pretty steady, 50 to 60 frames, sometimes 80. Sometimes below in like the bigger cities, but as I'm in, it's a big issue with me. I had a fun situation where I was trying to kick a soccer ball while I was just like fucking around doing another side quest. I was trying to kick a soccer ball.
wait, time out. Devin's eyebrows just went so up after you said soccer ball. Devin got so excited about kicking a soccer ball in a minute.
I was like out in the hood somewhere, and I was just trying to like fuck with this little child, because I thought maybe if I hit the soccer ball into the goal, maybe the kid will like be like, "Hey, you hit the soccer ball, hey, half one," or something like that. But while I was doing that, I like got it stuck in the corner, so you can like pick stuff up and like move it. But if you don't hold it and you push the button, you'll steal it. So I stole the soccer ball. And then a security guard immediately saw me, immediately went and arrested me. And then I ended up in this huge ass storyline where I'm basically running through the first Fast and Furious movie storyline of being a fucking mole.
What?
Because I stole a soccer ball by accident.
You stole a ball.
In the middle of another quest I was doing. I missed 5 hours worth of gameplay to do this side quest because I got fucking stolen.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
And that was like the first like 30 minutes of the game. Like I did not get I've done maybe 3 main missions of this game, but I just keep getting so fucking off track on this other stuff. I've become Batman. This isn't even like spoilers or things that I'm saying. I've become Batman already. I've done so many random colorful things just playing this game, and I've not even...
How many hours are you in?
Probably like 10, 12 hours so far.
Oh, that's it? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Not super far.
Man, but that's what Bethesda games are great for. Just like get lost in it, you know?
And that's the thing. I love the immersion part of it, but I know if I got to the point where I want to like min-max or something, like, you can build your ship and stuff like that. That could be fun, but like I'm not building a fucking outpost. I don't care about resources going through different trade lines on different fucking planets. I just want to be a mercenary and shoot some fucking space pirates.
You can do that. Yeah, you can be a space pirate.
Yeah, you certainly can. I've definitely docked some ships and stolen some stuff from some people. I've been a whole asshole. It's been awesome.
That's dope, dude. You gonna keep playing, I'm assuming?
Oh yeah, 100%. I knew that I was gonna enjoy the game, but I knew it's gonna have the same issue that Elden Ring was kind of having. That people that didn't play other games were gonna get excited about it and not realize what it is, and then probably pick it up and be like, "What the fuck is this? Like, why are the characters so ugly?" And it's like, it's fucking Bethesda, man. They're just ugly. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You just get used to it. It's a charm.
Yeah.
Wait, so I just have one question. So this game's been out for how long now? Like a week?
So officially it came out September 5th, but it came out early access August 31st.
So maximum early access, somebody's had this game for 12 days. There's already a mod. Like, how far into it was there a mod for the inventory?
Probably the second day.
So
the second day of early access.
Why the fuck, if somebody can mod it and make it better in a day, why do they release this game and I hear about the inventory system being bad? Why does this happen?
There was already performance issue fixes on the second day as well. They immediately fixed all the bugs that were plaguing the game.
I don't understand how this happens with these giant games.
My question to that, and this might be too big of a question, and we might have to wrap up soon. My question to that is it because like back then, if the inventory was that in the PS2 days, that's it. That's the game. You just deal with that. Is that okay for the consumer to complain so much that they need to fix it? And they probably will in like a year. It'll be a different game. Is that okay? Is that an okay thing to do? Or should we be like, that's the game they made? Maybe they'll get it better in Starfield too.
Well, no, because
you know what I mean?
No, but my point is that the community can fix these issues, like because the internet, like somebody was good enough to mod this and make it better than how you had it at release after millions of dollars, and investment and time, and you make it bad, and somebody literally in a day can make it better. How does that happen? I just don't understand how like something needs a mod. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just impressive. Mods are always so impressive to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy that someone just in their fucking basement can do what a team of 15, 20 people couldn't do. Like, these they're people that your whole job title is like UX designer. I designed the UI. Like, that's my whole thing.
Right.
I think a big thing that Devin kind of talks about is like the thing about like game testing. You could have a team of 300 people, but as soon as you put out this game, you immediately have a million eyes on that game. And that's why a lot of people say the best game testing is putting it out to the audience.
True.
Because that's where you're going to learn the most things that you never even considered. Because you can have like a hive mind of 30 people to be like, I think we did a good job with this. I think this inventory system fucking slaps. And then you send it to 300 nerds and like, what the fuck is this? I can't see anything. This is stupid as hell. And you're like, oh, damn, well, you didn't actually think about that. So it's one of those kind of situations that kind of goes down to it. It really depends on what's wrong with the game that I think it'll be allowed to just be like, well, that's just the game. You know what I mean? Like some shit is like, that's inexcusable. Like the game might be unplayable at certain points. Like,
like that's different. Like the Cyberpunk thing was crushing consoles. That's a different story.
Right.
If you just don't like this management system and it just sucks, sometimes games have shitty components.
And I mean, that's the thing. It's like in a lot of situations, you do just have to deal with it. That's one of the things I like about being a PC gamer is if there's something I don't like, I can literally just fucking change it. Like,
right.
I told you, I was like, man, this combat's kind of pissing me off. So I go to fucking nexusmod.com real quick and I'm like, oh, this changes the damage that it does. Boom, download it. Let's go. I'm having way more fun than I would have been otherwise. Like, shit like that. But
I love that.
Very nice, man. That's dope as shit. Looking forward to hearing you become a different god or superhero like you usually do in every video.
At some point, I will become the president of the universe or something like that.
Right. You're going to time travel at some point, do some other shit,
While also being a Dragonborn,
Yeah. While also being the head of the Assassin's Guild, the Pirate Guild, everything
the Thieves Guild.
The Shooters Guild.
I think I'm already running into that issue because, I'm supposed to be Batman, but then I'm also a whole mole for the United States government.
That's fucking funny as shit. Alrighty then. That is our show, listeners. We have done it once again. You can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com, Fortress spelled F-O-U-R. Feel free to email us any questions, feedback, recommendations, or anything like that. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel at The Fortress of. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Follow the 3 R's like a Bollywood movie. Rate, review, and recommend us to everyone and anyone you know. Thank you, Jackie, for helping edit the podcast every week. Thank you, Alex, for the music, Brian for the art, and Devin, thank you for being here, even when we really aren't sure if you're going to be here. Also, listeners, I don't know if you've seen this or know about it. Shout out to Brian, who put up a hilarious YouTube short, or not YouTube short, what might be all go on YouTube at one point, Instagram short of some behind the scenes stuff that you haven't seen before, and you should go check it out because it's very, very fucking funny.
Yeah, I'll keep making more of those someday.
And next week, I don't fucking know. We'll figure it out though. Some shit will come out. And as usual, happy holidays, everyone. Put a coat on. Let's go out there.
I wasn't paying attention. Hello? I'm in space somewhere. I don't know.
Brian's in Starfield brain right now. He's literally in space. All right, listeners, we will see you here next week in another episode in the Fortress of...
is that girl I see?
I killed Sirius Black.